Hello, and welcome to your news update for January 26, 2026. Here are tonight's top stories. A huge winter storm is paralyzing the United States, leading to a state of emergency. We're also seeing trade tensions flare up between the US and Canada. And in Bangladesh, the political scene is really heating up ahead of a major election.
Our top story tonight, a massive winter storm is causing widespread chaos right across the United States. It's bringing travel to a grinding halt and leaving millions of people without power.
In international news, that trade dispute between the United States and Canada is definitely intensifying. We're hearing threats of some pretty major tariffs being exchanged across the border. And over in Asia, political tensions are running incredibly high in Bangladesh. The country is getting ready for a general election right after the ouster of its longtime leader. So, let's begin in the United States, which is really dealing with two major crises at home, a crippling winter storm and, at the same time, growing civil unrest in Minneapolis.
Okay, first up, the weather. Winter Storm Fern has pretty much shut down travel across a huge part of the country. And the scale of this disruption is just immense. We're talking more than 14,000 flights canceled nationwide. That's leaving travelers stranded from coast to coast.
You know, the storm's impact goes way beyond just the airports. Over 1 million homes and businesses are in the dark right now, without power. States in the South have been hit especially hard. Texas and Louisiana are reporting some of the highest numbers of outages as their power grids really struggle under these icy conditions. Meanwhile, the city of Minneapolis is facing a completely different kind of crisis. Protests and some pretty significant unrest have broken out after a citizen was fatally shot by a federal agent.
The man who was killed has been identified as Alex Preety, a 37-year-old ICU nurse. His friends and family, in speaking to The Guardian, described him simply as someone who wanted to help people.
So here's what we know. The shooting happened during a federal immigration crackdown being conducted by ICE. Now, in response to these escalating protests, the governor has activated the National Guard to try and help restore order in the city.
Turning to the international stage now, where tensions are flaring between the U.S. and its closest neighbor, Canada, all over a potential trade deal with China.
President Trump has threatened a staggering 100% tariff on all Canadian goods if Ottawa decides to move forward with a free trade agreement with Beijing. In response, Canada has made it clear it will protect its own economic sovereignty. In a very direct response, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney declared, "We're buying Canadian." But he also made a point to clarify that his country has no immediate plans to pursue a free trade deal with China. It's a move that kind of cools things down a little, but still firmly asserts Canada's independence.
All right, let's turn our attention now to South Asia, where the political landscape in Bangladesh is getting more and more volatile as we get closer to a really pivotal general election.
So the whole situation really escalated after the ouster of Sheikh Hasina's long-standing government. The former prime minister just gave her first public address from India, all while the country is heading for a general election on February 12th. And during that address, Hasina made some truly explosive accusations against the current interim government. She claimed that her party members have been subjected to torture and sex assault.
Well, after that speech, the government in Bangladesh has officially raised concerns with India about her remarks. At the same time, campaigning is now officially underway for that February 12th election, and it is shaping up to be an incredibly tight and contentious race.
And now for a quick roundup of some other major headlines from around the world.
In the United Arab Emirates, the latest round of peace talks between Russia, Ukraine, and the United States is wrapped up. Officials are reporting that, unfortunately, no significant breakthrough was achieved in the negotiations.
Some tragic news from Indonesia, where the death toll from a landslide in West Java has now risen to 25. Rescue efforts are still ongoing, with dozens of people still reported missing, believed to be buried under all that mud and debris. And in the Philippines, a disaster at sea. The MV Tricia Kirsten 3 ferry has sunk near Basilan. At least 7 people are confirmed dead, and authorities are now reporting that 137 people are still missing.
So, to quickly recap our main stories for you, the U.S. is battling both a major winter storm and civil unrest in Minneapolis, tensions are running high between the U.S. and Canada over trade, and the political situation in Bangladesh is only intensifying ahead of next month's election. That is all for this update. We'll have more on these developing stories in 24 hours. Thank you for watching, and please be sure to like and subscribe for all the latest news updates.